Hi to all the readers at Atagalata. This is Jigs Ashar, the co-writer of the series Shorts with Ravi Subramanian. Our first two books, Insomnia and A Brutal Hand, are out, and we are hoping that you got a chance to read both the books. And if not, do grab a copy as soon as you can. So this video is, as you all know, the Atagalata had hosted a contest called Ask the Author, right? And firstly, thank you all very much for the questions that you posted. Both Ravi and I really appreciate the time that you have taken out to post these questions. All of them really interesting, and we are frankly quite overwhelmed with the response to the contest. It has been really tough to pick up three top questions that we are going to try and answer today. But we did manage. We spent some time, and the way we have shortlisted these three questions are the ones which we thought were the toughest to answer, and not by any other parameter. So here goes. This is the first of the three questions, and I will try to answer it the best that I can. The question is from Miss Lakita Singh, and the question is, hi, curious to know how easy or tough it is to have a co-author for a genre like thrillers. Tell us about how you collaborated. Were there any moments that surprised you or challenged you along the way? So for me, Lakita, it was Insomnia and A Brutal Hand are my first books. I made my debut with these two books. So for me, co-writing with a best-selling, experienced author like Ravi Subramanian was a dream come true. So for me, there were no challenges, and I'm hoping there were no challenges for Ravi as well. We had along the last 2.5 years, to be precise, a lot of creative sessions, a lot of ideations around the plot, how to take the story forward, characters, some of the backstories that we developed after we had written the first draft. One especially, I wouldn't say challenging, but interesting part where we collaborated was when we were writing the climax of Insomnia. And that was really interesting. And when we finally got it right, and which is what you find in the book, we both were really kicked about the idea that we had come out with. So yeah, no challenges, a lot of fun, and Ravi has been a great mentor in that sense. So thank you, Likita, for that question. And over to the next question now, which is from Dr. Priyaranjan Mohan. Very tough question, doctor. And the question is, what comes first, the plot or the characters? So again, doctor, my answer to that would be that for me, the plot comes first. It could be just one idea, one line story, which you then develop, and then kind of characters are woven around the plot, who take the plot and the story forward. To give you an example, in Insomnia, right? The one line story that I had in mind was that what if you feared for your life from someone that you really love, and you stayed with 24/7, right? Because normally you would kind of be fearful. For example, I'm fearful of heights, right? So I would be really scared to go on a mountain. Or some people have a fear of flying, right? Or there are terrorist attacks, there are accidents, and everybody has some kind of a fear of drowning, for example, right? But if you are in a house and you fear for your life from the person that you're staying with, yet there is no escape, right? You can't move out, and you can't do anything about it. I think that was the plot which first came to mind, and after which we said, okay, it should be a husband-wife psychological thriller, along with, and of course then when there is a crime or a potential crime, there are cops who get involved in the story, and you develop those characters. And then along the way, to take the story forward, there are a few characters which come. So for me, it's always the plot, doctor, that comes first. One could argue that for characters like say Poirot in Agatha Christie books, Miss Marple, or if you have an action hero like a James Bond, then does the character drive the plot? I would still probably stick to the answer that first the plot is written, and then of course the way a Poirot or a Miss Marple would solve the mystery, or how a James Bond would behave in a certain situation, kind of comes in. There could be a case where, and I was debating about this answer a bit, that if you look at a story like Curtain, right, which was the story in which Poirot dies, it was probably written, and I'm presuming, and it's a big presumption here, that the character had to be killed, had to die in one of the books, right? Because that's the end of a particular character who's taking a story forward, and then probably a plot was written around it. But by and large, I would say the plot would always come first. So thank you, Doctor, for that question. And over to the third question that we have shortlisted, which is from Nakul Sharma. Thank you, Nakul. How is writing a page-turner thriller different from writing for any other genre? And do you have a very definite fast-paced story in mind when you first start writing it? So, Nakul, to my mind, writing a thriller comes with its own challenges. Because the reader has to be gripped from page one, and you have to keep the reader guessing, right? I mean, that's the beauty of writing a thriller or a mystery. But in terms of challenging, I wouldn't say writing a thriller is any different than writing in any other genre. Although writing thrillers is my favorite, reading and writing thrillers is my favorite, so I would probably root for that. To the second part of your question, yes, I do have a very fast-paced story in mind when we start writing it. And as you know, shorts, the format is it is around a 30,000 word novella. Typically, a novel is around 50 to 70,000 words, and shorts is around 30,000 words. So the format is quite compact, and you have to tell a story in a fast-paced manner within the format of the series, right? So the way I had gone about it was that I had written down a brief summary, a 1 or 2 line summary of every chapter. So chapter 1, this is what happens, and then this is what happens in chapter 2. Each chapter is like a scene which moves at a very fast pace, right? And I also took care that every lead character appears very regularly as the story progresses, because the reader has to be kind of in sync with what the character is doing or thinking, and doesn't have to kind of turn back the pages and say, oh, okay, what did this character do last, right? So it has to be that the pace has to be that fast, and the characters have to appear with that regularity. So that is how I would answer that question, Nakul. So thank you. So once again, thank you, Ata Galata, all the readers and everyone who posed these questions. Thank you, our 3 readers whose questions we took today, which is Ms. Lakita Singh, Dr. Priyaranjan Mohan, and Nakul Sharma. And now is the toughest part, I think, as if it was not tough enough to just select 3 questions out of the 25-30 that we have received. But if I had to select one, so to say, winner of this contest who would get a copy of Insomnia, it would be Dr. Priyaranjan Mohan. Thank you, Doctor, for your question. I'll once again repeat the question. A really interesting one. What comes first, the plot or the characters? So thank you, everyone, for this wonderful contest. Thank you, Ata Galata, and best wishes of the festive season from Ravi and myself. Stay safe and have fun. Bye-bye.